Alrighty, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle, and today I'm going to be going over my top 10 most anticipated video games of 2015. And 2015 already looks like it's going to be an amazing year for gaming. I think that 2015 is going to be a better year in gaming than 2014 was, just because 2014 had some great games, and I would even say that 2014 had more great games in that category than most years, but they were just the great. There wasn't anything above that, the amazing, 10 out of 10, in my opinion anyway. I felt that every other year had 2 to 3 games where I would go like, oh, these are some of the best games that I've ever played. But 2014 only had a bunch of great games, more so than most years, but nothing really pushing it to that next level. So anyway, 2015 I think is going to be a great year. We only know what's going to happen for the first 6 months, and then after that we're going to have to wait until E3 and then get a bunch of new games that we haven't even heard of before. So it's really exciting to see what's going to happen this year. I think that the Xbox One and PS4 are going to get their footing. They're going to pump out a few more exclusives. Developers are going to be a bit more used to the new consoles, and PS3 and Xbox 360 are going to be phased out. And everything is going to be focused on these new consoles. So really exciting year in gaming. So let's start this list off with number 10. And they are in chronological order. These aren't just 10 games that I'm really looking forward to. These are the top 10 in chronological order, so the rankings do matter. Alright, number 10 is Rise of the Tomb Raider, the Xbox One exclusive. I didn't see that coming. I don't know if this is a timed exclusive or it's just, a real exclusive. Pretty crazy that is happening though. And I really enjoyed the new reboot of the Tomb Raider. It took me a while to finally play it, but I just had a blast with that game, and I cannot wait to play more of this new Lara Croft series. Number 9 is a Wii U exclusive called Splatoon. I saw this, when I first saw it, I was like, man, out of E3 of 2014, I think this was one of my top 5 games that I was looking forward to because it was so different. It's a third-person shooter from Nintendo where it has to do with paint, and you can change your character into this octopus that goes faster in your color of paint. It looks ridiculous and tons of fun, and really cool that Nintendo is making this too, a shooting game. Granted, it's probably going to be rated teen or everyone. It doesn't matter. It looks so much fun. I would much prefer this than another M-rated, shooting game. We have enough of those. Try something a little bit different, and the Splatoon looks like it might just do that. Number 8, Batman Arkham Knight. Here's the problem with Batman. I played the first one, Arkham Asylum, and I loved it to death. I have Arkham City and Arkham Origins. Haven't played them yet. I know, I'm late to the game, but I enjoyed the hell out of Arkham Asylum. I don't know why I haven't gone to the next step. Maybe because I'm a little bit intimidated by Arkham City, the name. I've heard a few people talk about that, and I was like, I just don't want to start it up yet. But I'm really looking forward to Arkham Knight and I want to play the other two as well before I get into Arkham Knight. But I have this game already pre-ordered. I am psyched. I saw the trailer, and it looked so good when he jumps into the Batmobile. Can't wait for this game. Next up, number 7. I think this game is coming out this year. From what I've gathered, it's coming out this year. Final Fantasy 15 looks great. When I first heard about it and I saw the first trailer, I was like, eh. But then I saw a bit more gameplay of the game. And they're driving around. And I was like, yeah, I like the feeling. I like the vibe that they're getting. I've heard that Final Fantasy games just are not what they used to be. And I mean, Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, those are personally my favorites. If you go back even further to Final Fantasy 4 and 6, it doesn't have that appeal anymore, but it's still a franchise that I very much enjoy, and I am looking forward to 15 and hoping that Square can kind of go back to their old gaming, or even at least get closer than what they used to. Next up is number 6, which is Halo 5. Now, I am a huge Halo fan. The only problem is that I haven't really seen a lot for me to get really pumped for this game. I think that Halo 4, the campaign, was my favorite Halo campaign out of all the Halo games. I really dug the Halo 4 campaign. It was the best looking one. 343 Industries did an amazing job. And obviously multiplayer is a big part of it too, and Halo 4 was the second best Halo multiplayer experience I've ever had, only beaten by Halo 2, and unless you count Master Chief Collection, if you count when Master Chief Collection is working, of course. Yeah, so I expected this to be higher, but all these other games, they're kind of they're just something else about them. So kind of like number 6 to number 1, they could have just switched spots, but everything made me a little bit more excited about each one of these next titles. I might end up, getting really more excited for Halo 5 when it gets closer, but it's like, it's not coming out until November, so it's 10 months away. Number 5 is something that's completely different, and it's No Man's Sky. It's not going to even be like a physical release. It's going to be released on the PSN, and it looks so fun. It's a game where you're a pilot and you can get out of your spaceship and go around and explore these planets, and then say, okay, I'm done with this planet. I'm going to jump into my spaceship, fly to another planet, and just explore. And apparently, like the detail of all these worlds are completely built at random. You can go visit tons of different places. Nobody's really going to have the same experience. Like the developers don't even know what you're going to find because they everything's randomized, and there's just so much to go explore. So I really cannot wait for this game. This is something that sounds completely different, completely new, and looks like a blast. Just goes back to kind of like exploration and just seeing what you can build with a video game world. I'm hooked. I'm sold on this. Next up is number 4, appropriately ranked because it is Uncharted 4. I'm a huge fan of the Uncharted series, and I think that Uncharted 4 is one of the first really big exclusives that the PS4 is going to have. Other than The Order, which is not going to be making my list. I have to mention that. It was close. The Order 1886 almost made it to my list, but just barely missed it. But I think that 1886 is a new IP, whereas Uncharted 4, familiar territory at Naughty Dog, who are at the top of their game right now, and Drake. I mean, you can't get better than that. So I'm really looking forward to this. I know that it's called A Thief's End or A Thief's Journey. Like, they're making it sound as if this is the last Uncharted. I hope not. I really hope that they just continue with this series. I wouldn't mind them taking like a hiatus for 5 years or something after they finish the next. I would hope for another trilogy like 4, 5, and 6. That'd be nice. And, span them away a few years in between. I'm fine with that. But I really do like Drake, and I like the type of games that they have. Really hoping that they continue with this series. All right, number 3, The Legend of Zelda Wii U. Open world Zelda with just random stuff, more kind of almost like Zelda Skyrim. I don't even know what to say. I saw the trailer for this, and I was just, I wanted more of this game. This is a game that I could see getting pushed back, unfortunately, into 2016. I hope that doesn't happen. But as of this point, I'm really looking forward to this game. And I can't wait for it to be released so you can play another Zelda game. And Wii U, like Zelda HD. This is going to be freaking awesome. Not a remake, like Wind Waker. I mean, that was technically our first Zelda HD, but oh man, it's going to be nuts. All right, next up is the new Rainbow Six game. I didn't even bother to get the title for whatever reason, but the new Rainbow Six game. Oh my god, the multiplayer, when they were playing this and they were, using strategies to go in and take on the hostiles. And the hostiles are real people as well, and they're using strategies. Oh, and they're blowing up like, walls, and they're just going through and okay, we're going to attack in 3 seconds. You go this way, you go that way, we're going to flank them, we're going to blow this place up, hopefully they'll be stunned. You shoot from the... Oh, I'm in. I am in. I like first-person shooters, don't get me wrong. But I like it when they kind of switch things up. Halo, I love. But, there's only so much you can do in Halo when there's strategy involved. And you have to, not just run and gun. If you do run and gun, everything's going to get screwed over. This is my type of game. I like this. I like the direction that they're going. I saw the trailer. This is one of the other ones. No Man's Sky and Rainbow Six. I was just like, oh, I can't wait for these games. Why aren't they coming out this year? I was really hoping when I was watching it in 2014 at the E3 that, have this released now. I want to play it now. But unfortunately, hopefully soon and this year we'll get to play them. And my number 1 game of most anticipated video game for 2015 is Xenoblade Chronicles X. What can I say? Xenoblade. It was this. I was hoping it was going to come out last year in 2014. It was in my top 10 most anticipated games of 2014. Might have been my number 1. I can't remember. I didn't bother to go back and watch my own video. But I know it was up there. And the more time that has that has gone by, the more I really want it. The more I've seen footage of the game. Very open world, even bigger than apparently the first Xenoblade Chronicles, which is just insane. A lot of open world games this time around, which is kind of cool. I like that. RPGs are kind of my thing. I think that they are my favorite genre of gaming. For the most part, like, it always changes, right? You go through phases where, like, I don't want to play any RPGs right now because it's too long and stuff, so I just want to play first-person shooters. And you're like, I've had enough first-person shooters. I want to play platformers. You go back and forth, but I think my all-time favorite that I continuously go back to and really enjoy is RPGs, just because the stories, the characters, you really get involved with what's happening in their worlds, whereas other games is, platformer, you can get involved, but not as involved as an RPG. That the whole point of an RPG is getting involved into the game and the world that they're in, and it spans, hours upon hours. So Xenoblade Chronicles X is my number one most anticipated game, but like I said, 1 to 6 easily. Really hyped for all of them. I can't wait for this year. I really can't. So let me know in the comments below what you're most excited for. By chance, I might have missed something, and I'm like, I didn't even know the game was coming out, or I completely forgot about it too. That does happen sometimes as well. So let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. You've been Bearded In.
Beardage.